Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is your boy Ansel Armstrong back again, and today we are going to be looking at the 30 best future star cards in the game and ranking them from worst all the way up to first. Now, we are only going to be looking today at the ones through the Team Affinity path, not going to be including the headliners or event rewards or anything like that. But in case you haven't known, last Friday, Team Affinity Stage 2 came out, and with Stage 2, we got 30 future star cards, just like we see here with Ryan Mountain Castle of the Orioles. So today, we're going to be going through and ranking them all from worst all the way up to the best, so you can have an idea of who you should be targeting, who you should be going after when you're going after Team Affinities. Now, of course, these are all my personal opinions. Their position plays a factor into it. My play style plays a factor into it. I like pitchers with control. I like hitters with power. If you don't like these things, well, you know, my rankings are going to play a factor into that. If you disagree with any of these rankings, which of course you will, because I'm probably pretty dumb and I forgot about some really obvious cards that are slept on, or some really good ones that I'm not as high on, let me know down in the comment section below, and we can have some awesome discussions about some of the best future star cards in the game. Overall, these 30 cards are some of the better cards in the game, just in general, not even just looking at future stars, but just in a general sense. These are some of the absolute best cards in the game, especially once we get to the top 10, top 5 or so. There are some really incredible cards. So without further ado, let's hop into it, starting with 30, working our way all the way up to 1. So coming in at 30th is Kevin Smith of the Blue Jays. This one is a pretty clear-cut choice. Unfortunately for the Blue Jays, they also had one of the worst face of the franchise cards in Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Not that Vlad Guerrero Jr. is bad, but his face of the franchise card is not that great. And then to top it off, they go 0 for 2 and they get Kevin Smith. He's okay against righties, and that's really his only selling point, is that he's okay against righties with the 88 contact, 84 power. Dude couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat against lefties. That's probably a bit harsh way to put it, but compared to the rest of the cards in the game and the rest of the future stars cards, he can't hit lefties very well. The 75 fielding isn't great either. That's going to play as silver fielding out in the field. And at shortstop, you definitely need good fielding, because again, you've seen those balls in the hole, those balls in the gap get misplayed a ton. He does have the speed, the 85 speed, 84 steal is really his saving grace, but there's a lot of better options out there at shortstop, and Kevin Smith, he's going to lock down 30th for us. I'm sorry, Blue Jays fans. Hopefully stage 3 comes through for y'all. I'm pulling for you. Now coming in 29th is the Rockies, Ryan Ronson. He's not terrible. He has some decent per nines. His 94K per nines is actually really solid. He has the low home runs for nines, but again, that doesn't matter in online play. And he actually has pretty good control, the 84 control, 82 walks per nine, the 88 clutch with the 94 break on his pitches. I think this guy could potentially play a lot better than 29th. The biggest problem, I think, you know, he has the four-seamer only at 93, but he does have the curveball at 78, the changeup at 80. It's decent speed differentials. And he's probably going to have some decent control. Unfortunately, I think with the meta of this game, with sinkers kind of being sinkers and cutter really being OP, he lacks one of those and doesn't have anything else that just really blows you out of the water. So he comes in at 29th for me. I'll say this though, these cards were extremely tough to rank. It doesn't feel proper putting a card like this at 29th. It's a solid card for a lot of people out there. The vast majority of players, he's going to be easily one of the 5 best starters you have if you pick him up, and I think he's going to find a spot in your rotation 100%. Coming in here at 28, and again, this is where it starts to get really difficult. The rest of these decisions were not easy. I probably redid my list 4 or 5 times trying to really get it together. But really, these guys down here at the bottom of the list, they just kind of have a hole in their game. That's where Daz Cameron comes in at 28th. Again, another team that's kind of gone 0 for 2 is the Tigers. But for me, Daz Cameron's lack of ability to hit righties just really kind of limits him to a bench bat at best. And even still, he has good contact versus lefties, but not a ton of power. And he doesn't mix that in with a lot of speed too. If Cameron would have had some more speed, I think it would have been a little bit more viable. But that lack of ability to hit righties, he can certainly hit lefties and can field pretty well. He's going to have diamond defense if you put him out in the outfield. I think if he would have had a little bit more speed, he would be a solid bench bat, pinch runner, defensive replacement kind of guy. But without that speed, 75 is great, but I didn't get 90 plus from a lot of other guys. So because of those reasons, Daz Cameron does come in here at 28th. Coming in here at 27th, it's essentially Daz Cameron, but just a little bit better with the speed. So like we were saying, just like Daz Cameron, Jorge Mateo cannot hit righties very well, but he can't hit lefties. He actually has a little bit more power, similar defense, but the big kicker here, the 99 speed, 98 steal. I think Jorge Mateo could probably play a little bit better than 27th overall. And I think he has some usability as a bench bat coming in against lefties with your 96 contact, 82 power. I think there's a lot of potential there. He's a decent fielder. He's not going to make too many mistakes for you. His arm strength and accuracy is a little low, so he'd probably get by at shortstop though, for sure, second base. But 99 speed, 98 steal is pretty insane. Jorge Mateo, I mean, you can get him on there as a pinch runner, or if you get him on base after pinch hitting, you basically have a guaranteed triple already just coming in with him. And Mateo is a really good card and has a lot of usability in this game. Next up, we're going to be looking at Jose Urquidy, one that potentially could have ended up a little bit lower than 26th, but again, I went with him a little bit higher due to his control rating. 86 control with the 90 walks per 9, as well as 90 Ks per 9 is really well. It's going to keep your opponent's PCI pretty small. Having the primary changeup is a bit unfortunate. You know, not having the primary fastball. With how this game works, you have to throw primary pitches pretty much every 2 to 3, maybe 4 pitches. Otherwise, you are going to get those pitches that just hang right down the plate. You can't spam pitches in this game. You got to mix it up. So having the primary changeup, not ideal, but he still has the fastball coming in there at 95, and then the decent slider, curveball, changeup mix as well. Overall, not a bad pitch repertoire, not bad per 9s, really good control, so he's going to be spotting it up for the most part. I like Urquidy. I think he's got a little bit of potential. He's missing the meta pitches in this game, but outside of that, I think he's a pretty solid pitcher coming in at 26th. Coming in here at 25th, it's going to be Zach Brown again, another high control type of pitcher. This Zach Brown, he does have the primary fastball along with the curveball and changeup. He is missing the slider that Urquidy has, so looking at that, you could probably swap them out with the 2-seam for Zach Brown. Pretty much he only has 3 pitches, but he does have the good control and the really good hits per 9 coming in at 94. So again, limiting your opponent's PCI size. That's going to be doing it with the hits per 9. I think Zach Brown, he's a pretty solid pitcher. Not going to blow anybody out of the water, but again, if you still rocking with golds or maybe some, you know, live series, low tier diamonds, Zach Brown's definitely going to outclass those easily. Coming in here at 24th, we're really starting to get to some of the guys that you're going to be seeing a little bit more often, that have a bit more usability, and it's Bobby Dalbec of the Boston Red Sox. As you can see with Bobby, he has the power hitting ratings. I think he's going to be great for things like BR or events and some pinch hitting opportunities where you need a home run. Now, with that contact rating, 64, 68, and a low vision, he's going to be probably more suitable for All-Star once you get to Hall of Fame and above. I think he's really going to fall off a little bit, which is why he's so low on this list. But if you're on All-Star, you see him in a BR run, or you get to use him at events with that kind of power versus righties and lefties, he's going to smoke the ball around a little bit, and he's got great defense. Put him at third base, 88 fielding, 95 arm strength. He's going to make a lot of plays over there at third base. I think he has a lot of usability. I think he's going to be one of the ones you're seeing a little bit more, again, especially if you're going in events, BR, things like that. That power is going to play really well and translate tremendously in those modes on All-Star. Coming in here at 23rd, it is the White Sox with Dane Dunning. He is the first of our large array of future star pitchers rocking the sinker. Seems like all these young guys are learning to throw a sinker, or they just have a lot of fastballs with a lot of movement. But you can see his pitch selection. He's got the 5-pitch repertoire: sinker, curveball with a great speed differential, the slider, the changeup, the 4-seam. He has a really good repertoire. He's got the 83 control, the 92 Ks per 9. I think Dane's going to be a pretty solid pitcher. He's only 91 overall, but I think he's going to play above that, and certainly the best pitcher we've seen by far so far. And honestly, having him down at 23rd, I think he could play a little bit higher than that, but There's just so many good pitchers that we're going to get to in this Future Stars through Team Affinity Stage 2. That was a bit hard to put him higher than 23rd, but still another pitcher who has a lot of usability. You're going to find him in a lot of rotations. And here we are at 22nd. It's the Phillies, Adonis Medina, another 5-pitch sinker ball thrower, coming in at pretty similar speeds to Dane Dunning. You can really kind of flip-flop them as you please. The main difference is I feel like Medina has a little bit better balance per nines. The hits per nines and Ks per nines are both solid, whereas on Dunning, his Ks per nines is a little lacking, whereas hits per nines are really solid. Now, the one knock here is 77 control. He may end up hanging a lot of pitches for you, and I think that could be Medina's downfall, and really the reason that he's where he is on the list and not higher up. His lack of control, especially in this game where you can hang a pitch even when someone has great control and you hit the spot perfectly. I think we're going to see a lot of pitches right down the pipe from this guy, no matter where you're wanting to put it. And because of that, it knocks him down a few pegs, down to 22nd overall. Still a great pitcher, though. Moving on to 21st, we have Luis Garcia of the Washington Nationals, a guy who's pretty balanced overall. He's going to struggle a little bit versus lefties, and that's really his downfall. That's really his knock. The 81 contact versus left and 69 power. It's okay, but you're not going to set any home run records. You're not going to break the ball out of the ballpark with those kind of numbers, but he's going to crush it against righties. 108 contact, 81 power. He has decent vision. He's going to hit really well against righties. Pretty okay fielding. The 80 fielding, he will play as a goal down the field as long as you have him at second base with the 84 arm strength. But if you put him at third base or shortstop, he will be a silver badged fielder out in the field. And I think that's going to result in a couple errors that you probably wouldn't want to see out of your third base or shortstop. So I'd avoid playing him there. And that's kind of another one of his downfalls. The fielding's not great, and he doesn't have any tremendous speed either. 64, pretty average there. But overall, it's a pretty well-balanced card. Not any incredible flaws, and could play a pretty decent second base in my opinion. So now coming in here into our top 20, we have Elliot Ramos of the Giants, plays right field, has the secondaries for your corner outfields, and a pretty solid defender. Now, unfortunately, he does have the diamond badge over here on the right, but if you put him in left field or center field, he is going to have a silver fielding badge out in the field, so you run into some potential errors there. But if he's in right, he is going to have the gold badge fielding out there, along with the 89 arm strength, 87 arm accuracy, the 81 speed. Gonna do decent on the base pass, and as we can see, hitting really well balanced. Good contact versus righties, good power versus lefties, and his other ones are both 84, 81. He's a really balanced hitter, gonna hit both righties, gonna hit lefties, has good vision. I love the balance of this card. I think he could be a really good right fielder for a lot of squads, and a guy that maybe a little bit slept on since he doesn't have one thing that just jumps out of the page, jumps off the park at you, but I think his balance in and of itself is a huge asset to him. Now coming in at 19th, it is Evan White from the Mariners. Part of the reason I have Evan White so low, even though he has really good ratings, is that the fact that he plays first base. There's a lot of first basemen, in my opinion, in this game that play first base incredibly well. Giambi, Olsen, Rizzo, Carlos Santana, a ton of first basemen in this game. We're going to be getting a ton more, but if you don't have one of those guys locked up, Evan White could do really well there. He has incredible fielding, and we already know even low-rated defenders make a ton of play at first base. So with his 95 fielding, he's going to have a diamond badge at first base. You won't, if you hit a ball to the right side of the infield, I think Evan White's going to go catch it. He's going to go make that play. Plus, he's going to smoke the ball versus lefties. 103 contact, 82 power, and he's going to hold his own against righties. 89 contact, 76 power versus righties with the 78 vision. The 106 clutch, help him out in those later innings. He's pretty balanced overall. Gonna smoke righties, gonna make plays in the field, and to boot, bring it all together. Got 80 speed. He's not gonna steal any bases, but he's gonna leg those doubles into triples, singles into doubles, score from second on singles, things like that. I think Evan White has a lot of potential. Gonna be a guy you're seeing a lot. Coming in at 18th, doubling down on our first baseman. Again, him and Evan White are pretty interchangeable. There's a really good argument that Evan White's probably better. Personally, I went with Mountcastle above because he's a little bit, just got a little bit more hitting attributes there, a little bit more balance there. Doesn't have the speed or the fielding that Evan White has, but again, at first base, your fielding isn't all that relevant. It's not going to do a whole lot for you, but essentially they're very, very similar cards. Another thing Mountcastle has is these secondary positions. However, if you put him at third base or left field, he's going to make an incredible amount of errors. Don't ever do that. If you put Mountcastle at third base or left field, don't ever expect him to make a play. Essentially, he's going to botch every ball hit to him. No offense, Ryan, if you're watching this, no offense. But he has pretty balanced hitting attributes. Again, a guy who's going to crush lefties, holds his own against righties. Very similar card to Evan White. A little bit more balance there. Slots him at 18th above for me. Now, slotting in here at 17th, we're really getting to the guys that are going to see a lot of playing time. It's Alex Kirilloff coming in. He's going to smoke the ball around, especially against righties. 101 contact, 88 power. But even against lefties, 93 contact. It's going to give him a decent PCI size with the 75 power, the 92 vision. He's really going to be battling up at the plate. He's got okay defense, but again, as a first baseman, defense doesn't really matter too much. He does have good enough defense to where you could put him in left or right field, one of his secondary positions as well. Nothing too much happening there with speed, but again, he's going to be a really good hitter. He's a lefty. I enjoy hitting with lefties. I think this is one of the better cards, and we're really getting to the part of the rankings where these cards are going to be tremendously viable, usable, and insanely good cards. Now coming in at 16th is Niko Hoerner. As you can see, he has really good contact numbers, and he plays second base, which if you don't have Sandberg or if you don't have Biggio, it can be a bit of a tough position to fill. So because of that, I think Niko Hoerner has a ton of value. He is lacking in the power department, which knocks him down a lot for me, and that's really his biggest knock, his biggest flaw. But he does have good contact. He does have good vision. He's going to be able to make good contact on the ball because of those ratings. And his lack of power may lead to a lot of singles, a lot of little looping line drives that fall in. And with 84 speed, you can maybe steal a couple bases, or if you get one into the gap, definitely leg it out into a double, scoring from second on hits, things like that. And he's got a lot of potential, and his fielding, he's going to be very passable. Only 75 arm strength, but again, you play him at second base, he's going to be fine. He's not going to make any errors with the 90 accuracy, and with 81 fielding, he'll have the gold badge at second base. He should do pretty well to not make too many errors for you. If you're lacking a second baseman, I think Niko Hoerner is a great one. He's got a lot of potential. Coming in here at 15th, it is Alec Thomas, another hard-hitting, big swinging outfielder with the speed, with the defense. He has the contact ratings, obviously the 102 contact versus righties. With the 75 power, it's going to hit really well against righties. Now the 95 contact versus lefties with the 58 power, again, that contact is going to do really good for him, but the 58 power does hurt a lot. If you get perfect fly balls, probably going to be flying out versus lefties with Alec Thomas, which is tough, but the 93 vision is pretty solid. The 90 fielding means he'll have the diamond badge out in center field. Will only be a gold badge in left and right, but the diamond badge out in center field. Not to mention the 87 speed, 75 steal, another really fast guy. He's going to be tracking down balls in the gap. He's going to be getting you extra bases on the base path. He's going to smoke the ball around, especially versus righties. Again, kind of struggle just a bit versus lefties, but I think he's definitely still usable and passable on that front. I think Alec Thomas is a great card. So coming in here at 14th, it's going to be Andre Jimenez, the shortstop in the Mets organization. As you can see, incredible defense, incredible speed, and he's got a decent stick to boot with all that together. Really good contact versus both righties and lefties. He does lack the power, which is going to hurt him, but with that 86 vision, with his contact, he's going to be putting good wood on the ball for the most part. Not going to hit a whole lot of home runs for you, but you can get some of those looping singles, some of those little soft line drives, maybe every once in a while rope one into the gap. But 89 fielding with the 85 speed, 95 steal, he's going to do a lot for you on that front. Put him out in the field, especially at shortstop, where you can have a lot of errors if you have a poor defender. You can have a lot of plays be made, give up infield singles. Andre's not going to let that happen. And when he gets on the base pass, he's going to be pretty dangerous. Coming in here at 13th, we're going with another shortstop with a lot of defense. It's Chisolm, of the Marlins. Again, pretty much the same defense as Andre Jimenez. Pretty good speed as well. He does lack the stealing, but I think what he lacks in stealing, he makes up for with the big power. 92 power versus right, 83 power versus lefties. Jazz Chisolm is going to hit some home runs for you. Not a lot of contact versus lefties. He will struggle a little bit there, but if you square up the ball when he's against the lefty with that 83 power, he's still going to do quite a bit. He's going to do really good. I think Jazz Chisolm is a guy you're going to see quite a bit. Probably one of the future stars you see more so than others. I think he's one that a lot of people are sleeping on, a lot of people are overlooking, but once people figure out about it, you're going to be seeing a lot of Jazz Chisolm as the year goes on. Coming in at 12th, I think another guy who's a little underrated. I'm biased as a Rangers fan in saying this, but it's Josh Young. He has very, very balanced hitting attributes, which I think is his biggest attribute as a whole. 99 contact versus righties with 76 power. Pretty solid. Again, not going to hit a ton of home runs, but 76 power, he can definitely get it out there. He's going to have a pretty solid PCI to work with, especially with that 90 vision. And then the 86 contact versus lefties, 89 power versus lefties. Very balanced, can hit righties, can hit lefties. And defensively at third base, he's not going to be bad. He's going to have gold fielding with the 87 arm strength. He's going to be able to get people out. People aren't going to be busting out infield singles on him. Doesn't have a ton of speed, but he's not slow. 63 speed, pretty average. Again, this Young may be one of the most balanced overall cards out of these future stars. And I think that in and of itself gives him a ton of value and usability in this game. Coming in here at 11th and just missing the top 10, it's Brandon Marsh, another card that has a lot of balance. He can hit righties, 94 contact, 84 power. He can hit lefties, 90 contact, 78 power. Doesn't have a lot of vision, but he's going to be a good fielder. Gold badge out in center field, silver in left or right, which may be a bit tough, but put him out in center. He has the big arm. He's got the 85 speed. He's going to be tracking down balls in the gap. Brandon Marsh, you're going to be seeing a lot of them. I know he's been one of the most popular ones so far. A lot of people already were at 70 of 70 for the Angels since they went after Ohtani. So a lot of people have been picking up Marsh. I think you're going to be seeing a lot of him, and he's a really good card. Coming in here at 10th is a guy who may not end up being 10th overall for me at the end of it all. It's Brady Singer. I think he has a ton of potential and could end up being one of, if not the best pitcher out of the big class of future stars. He has the sinker, the slurve, the four seam, the changeup. Decent pitch repertoire. I don't love the slurve. I'd rather just see a slider or a curveball, but and you can still use the slurve if you put it in the right spots. But here's the big kicker with him: 87 control, 96 walks per 9. He's going to be able to locate, which is huge in this game. And the 83 hits per 9, 84 Ks per 9, it's not too bad. It's not a bad per 9s at all. Give him 103 stamina on top of that. He's going to be able to pitch for you frequently. He's going to be able to come out of the bullpen. That's the meta right now. A lot of people are doing that. He can start, and then, 2 games later, he can come out of the bullpen. He's got the sinker. He's got the changeup with the nice speed differential. He's going to be able to control his pitches a lot. I think Brady Singer may be one of the better cards to go after from the future star collection, and he comes in at 10th in my rankings. Coming in here at 9th is another card I think is extremely underrated, and that's Ke'Bryan Hayes. Again, pretty balanced card. Good contact versus righties and lefties. He does like just a little bit of power. You would like to see a little power boost there, but again, with that contact versus righties and lefties, he's going to be hitting the ball pretty well, especially with the 85 vision and the 83 speed. He's going to be able to get on base, make some things happen here. But the big kicker, look at his fielding ratings: 98 fielding, 92 arm strength, 90 accuracy, 99 reaction. He does lack a secondary position, which hurts him a little bit, but at third base, this guy never going to make an error for you ever. He's going to throw out all the base runners. He's going to get good jumps on the ball. And offensively, he's going to smoke the ball around a little bit. Again, lacks that power just a hair, but good contact ratings, good vision, good speed, a lot of usability. I think Ke'Bryan Hayes is a little bit underrated so far from what I've seen in terms of what cards people are talking about. I think he has a lot of potential, and eventually you're going to be seeing a lot of him in lineups. Coming in here at 8th is Taylor Trammell, and we're really getting to the top tier cream of the crop future star Team Affinity stage 2 guys. Again, another really good fielder with the 92 fielding in left field. He'll have the diamond badge. He is missing the arm strength and the accuracy, so it's best to put him in left field. You don't want him in right, you don't want him in center with that arm accuracy. Put him in left, take advantage of that fielding. The 94 speed and steal. He's going to be tracking down balls in the gap. He's going to be making plays on the base path, and he's a pretty good hitter overall. The 69 power versus lefties, he's going to struggle a little bit versus lefties, but he has 95 contact. And against righties, 103 contact, 82 power. He's going to smoke the ball around quite a bit. Not to mention, he gets the ball into a gap with 94 speed. You could be legging out triples, maybe even more. You could be doing a lot of things with Taylor Trammell. He's one of the ones I'm about to pick up. I think I'm 4 or 5 Team Affinity points away from Taylor Trammell. I'm going to be picking him up and adding him to the squad immediately. Coming in here at 7th, it is Vidal Brujan. The Rays just have a plethora of switch hitting middle infield guys, I suppose, and they just keep pumping them out. We got another one here, and he's going to be pretty incredible. The 89 fielding, the insane speed, 95 speed, 97 stealing. Here he's going to fly around the base path. Another guy who lacks the power, 64 power, 51 power versus right and versus left. But the 97 vision with this contact, again, he could be a guy who's getting those soft line drives, maybe finding a gap every once in a while, legging out doubles, triples, scoring on singles from second, going first to third, things like that. Vidal is going to do a lot for you on that front. And he's a switch hitter. I love switch hitters just for the visual matchup. I pick up the ball so much better if I have the hand in this matchup and a pitching hitting matchup there. And so because of that, I think he has a lot of usability for me. One of the ones I'm going to be picking up real soon. Probably the next one I am going after Taylor Trammell. Coming in here in 6th, this one may be a bit of a hot take, as a lot of people view Gaterol as the consensus #1 future star of the bunch. But personally for me, he does slot in at 6th. He has the great per nines, of course, but that 68 walks per 9 and the 79 control, I think it hurts him a lot. He's going to hang a lot of pitches, and if you're playing against a good player, they're going to take advantage of those pitches when you hang them. Even if you're throwing sinkers, if you put one down in the middle of the plate, a good player is going to go yard on it. That being said, though, he does have a great pitch repertoire. He does have outlier 1. He's got the sinker, the four seam at 101, the slider, the changeup, the curveball. He's an insane pitcher. He's insanely good. And just because he's 6, don't think I think he's bad. He's in my rotation. He's going to be in my rotation. You're going to be seeing a lot of Gaterol as the year goes along. He's going to stick around for a while. He's a great pitcher. By far one of the best in the game that we have right now. I just think his lack of control knocks him down a peg just a little bit for me. So starting our top 5, it is Clark Schmidt. Again, the thing he has going for him, for me, above Gaterol, is that control. He doesn't have the outlier, but he does have the sinker, the 5-pitch repertoire. He's got good per 9s, not as good as Gaterol, but good per 9s. But again, 82 control, 86 walks per 9. I feel more confident that I'm going to be able to locate my pitches with Schmidt a little bit better. And because of that, I'm going to have a bit more usability. He's going to be more feasible for me. He's not going to be hanging pitches down the middle of the plate where I get up a 3-run homer and lose the game, and I'm pissed because of it. I feel confident that Schmidt's going to do that significantly less often than Gaterol. So because of that, he gets the nod at 5 here for me. Coming in here at 4th, we have the first of the Nolan boys, Nolan Jones from the Indians. He's going to be 4th for me. As you can see, he has the power that a lot of these future stars lack. 106 versus righties, 98 versus lefties. He gets a hold of the ball, forget about it, it's gone. He only has the 73 contact versus lefties. That's going to hurt him a little bit, but again, with that 98 power, you make up for that. I do think Nolan Jones may struggle just a little bit as a all-around player on Hall of Fame due to his lack of contact versus lefties and his lower vision. He's definitely going to be great against righties, even on Hall of Fame with that 96 contact, 106 power. He may struggle just a bit versus lefties, but I think he'll still be very usable. And he's passable on defense to 79 fielding, 1 away from getting the gold badge out in the field, which is going to hurt him a little bit. He may make a couple errors out there being a silver badge at 3rd, but you could throw him at first base. He could probably get by in left field due to the arm strength that he has, and right field. He could buy in left and right with that 95 arm strength. I think that'd probably be where he plays better as opposed to third base, but he's all around an incredible card. Comes in at fourth for me. I'm excited to get a hold of that power and hit some dingers with this one. Coming in here at third is the second half of our double Nolans. It's Nolan Gorman. They're very similar players, but I think Nolan Gorman, he's going to hit a little bit better versus righties, and he's going to hit better versus lefties. So I think because of that, he has the better attributes versus righties and lefties offensively. I think that's going to give him the boost there. A little bump in vision, a little bump in speed, pretty similar fielding. Now, Nolan Gorman lacks the secondary positions outside of first base and the arm strength that Nolan Jones has, but I think the boosted offensive attributes for Gorman bump him up a little bit, and because of that, he slots in at third for me. Coming in here at second, and honestly, I think by the end of it all, he's gonna be first. It's Nick Lodolo. This card is insane. The per nines, 97 hits per nine, 100 Ks per nine. The 78 walks per nine is very passable. And then he has the 84 pitch control to go along with that. He's going to be spotting pitches pretty well. He's got a decent pitch repertoire. I wish he would have had a curveball or something like that in there, but the sinker, slider, changeup, four seam, very usable. Would have liked the fifth pitch. Would have made him a bit OP in my opinion if he had that fifth pitch with those per nines, with that control. Nick Lodolo is going to be the same. I think the biggest knock on him, though, is the fact that he is a lefty in a game right now that has a ton of good righty bats. Biggio, Sheffield, Trout, Arenado. There's a lot of good righty bats. I think lineups are very righty based now, but that's not going to be the case forever. It's going to shift. It's going to alternate. And when lineups are a bit more balanced, I think Lodolo is going to have a bit more usability there. But even still right now, if you have Lodolo and you don't have him in your rotation, I'm not sure what you're doing. I don't think you could find 5 better starting pitchers in this game right now than Nick Lodolo. And finally, that leaves us with Kyle Wright holding down the #1 spot. My favorite, the best future star card in the game, in my opinion. I think what gives him the boost over Lodolo is, again, great per nines. Even if it's a little bit worse, he's got good control. Even if it's just a hair worse, but being a righty right now in a game where there's a lot of really good righty hitters and having that fifth pitch, he has the curveball, which Lodolo doesn't. It gives him a bit more feasibility, more use. You can mix things up a little bit more. And because of that, I give Kyle Wright the nod over Lodolo, and he takes home the spot as the best Team Affinity Stage 2 Future Star card in my opinion. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I had a ton of fun going through and putting the list together. It took me forever to finally lock down a 30 as I kept changing them and moving them and second guessing things. But again, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I'm sure you disagree with my top 5, my top 10, my top 30. Let me know down in the comments below, who do you think the best 5 future star cards in this game are? And if you disagree with mine, tell me why. What am I missing? What on some of these cards am I overlooking? What am I not thinking about? As always, though, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe as well. And as a reminder, we do stream on Twitch. Link down in the description below. We stream every day except for Thursday and Saturdays. Right now, we've been grinding out a lot of these future star cards, playing some events, playing some ranked seasons. Overall, just having a good, fun time. So if you want to come hang out in the live streams, talk about the game, get some tips, tricks on the market or cars to go after, be sure to follow that link down in the description below. But until next time, I'll see y'all later.